What is up, my friends? Welcome back to a brand new week of Magic the Gathering content. Actually, today's Wednesday, so this isn't a brand new week, but you get the idea. My name is Control for Days. Today, we are going to be going through a modern league with a deck that has just hit the scene, compliments of March of the Machine. This deck was innovated and built by none other than AspiringSpike, and I saw it, and I liked it, so we're going to run through a league with it today. This is a mono-white humans build, and if you did not know this about me, I actually have a soft spot for mono-white decks. I've had some success in Legacy with mono-white, and I am also a mono-white weenie aficionado in Vintage Cubes, so I like this style deck. I don't know why, but I do. Today's deck is kind of like the comeback of the modern humans build, but we're doing it in a different way than what's been done previously. The previous humans builds were built around Thalia's Lieutenant, Champion of the Parish, Adeline, and then it was an Aether Vial deck that was multicolor and had some blue and I believe some green in it as well. We're cutting all the other colors. We're sticking to a mono-white build today, and particularly we are developing this deck around this card, Knight Errant of Eos. This is a 5-mana creature that's a 4/4 that has Convoke, and when you Convoke, you look at the top 6 cards of your library. You can put up to 2 creature cards from those 6 cards into your hand. So this can be a really powerful card advantage source. It can feed into your Shining Shoals and your Solitudes by getting extra cards into your hand, and really helps this deck grind into the late game and gives it a lot of resiliency against strategies where they're removing your creatures in the early game. If we're looking at the sideboard, nothing too fancy here. A lot of hate cards for red decks. Sanctifiers are in the sideboard. Burrenton Forge Tenders are in the sideboard. So cards that help us against Scam, against Fury. Outside of that, some Containment Priests, some more Priest of Thune, which is enchantment removal. Lauren of the Third Pass, also artifact and enchantment removal. We're going to take this sweet mono-white humans list through a league, and I would love it if you join me. So let's get to it, and let's do it. All right, we are jumping into this one. I am excited to play this deck. I don't know why, but I am. Round 1, we are playing against Howstone_. We are going to be on the draw, and our opening 7, we don't have any 1-drops, but I don't really have a feel for the deck in terms of what's acceptable and what's not. We'll try it, see how this goes. Opponent leads Windswept Teeth, passes the turn. All right, I like that. I like a nice slow start from our opponent. I think we'll just start on a basic Plains, nothing too fancy. It's just some good old-fashioned white weenie magic. Pass the turn. Okay, they get themselves a Triome. So if they go into a Wrenn and 6 here, it's going to be pretty bad for us. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So we're in a little bit of trouble here, seeing as how all of our creatures are X1s. What's the move? So I could Shining Shoal the Wrenn and 6 and then attack into it. But if they have another removal spell, it's just going to be really bad. But not doing anything is also really bad. So I think we'll name human here with this. I think I'm going to cast the Thalia, and then I'll probably Shining Shoal and then kill the Wrenn and 6 and hope that that's good enough. This doesn't feel like a great trade, but opponent fetches, basic land, get themselves a land back. Okay, I like this trade. I like how this is going. Prismatic Ending. Okay, can't really do anything about that. So that will be the end of our Thalia there. Yeah, being on the draw this game really bad. Okay, so we can go, so this isn't terrible. So we can go Esper Sentinel into a Thalia's Lieutenant, put a 1 counter on our Sentinel, and then we can pass the turn from there. The next turn I can kind of restock with this Knight Errant if need be. I think best case scenario for us is we draw into a 1-drop, another 1-drop, another Prismatic Ending. What a pain. I think I'm going to Shining Shoal this. prevent the damage from Ren and 6. Okay, I did that wrong. Never mind. Okay, so I just 3-for-1 myself. Nice. I'm not sure what I was supposed to click there. That's going to be game over. I don't know what we're going to do from here, but I'm just going to see how my opponent's deck is built, and then we'll go from there. Opponent still has 5 cards at hand. Ren and 6 back at land. Pass the turn. Not really doing much over there. Another land. Okay. I don't think it's really worth casting this thing out if I can't convoke it, so I'm just going to keep it. Pretty anemic start to this league here. Doesn't feel great. Turn 2 Ren 6 pretty much just did us in. But it has an Omnath into a land. I wish they would just show me what they're doing, like give me a little more information. And I would be happy to scoop it up from here. Play another land, pass the turn. Another land, they'll gain 4 life. I think we're like literal 0% to win from this point. I don't think we have a line to... I mean, there's 7 cards in hand too. See if they fetch here. Don't even bother. Not even interested. Alright, so from here we can go Thalia's Lieutenant. Get some nice value on that one. Into Knight Errant. Trigger the Lieutenant, put a 1/1 counter on it. Looks like they're going to kill it in response. Oh, they're countering the uncounterable creature. Cool. It doesn't seem wise. Opponent is fetching. Fetching again. So they're going to double trigger the Omnath, so they're going to flash into Solitude, I'm guessing. Sure. Okay, so we get to choose a creature. I mean, these are all X1s, but I guess we'll take the Champion just because that's the greatest chance of surviving. I mean, we get 2? Okay. Cool. What does this ability read? Oh, cool. So we got 2 creatures. Nice. Alright, opponent has 5 cards. We have a 2/2. They have an Omnath. We'll pass the turn. They're about to have a Ren and 6 ultimate as well. Alright, I'm just going to scoop. We're not winning this one. Moving to game 2. I could see Giant Killer being a thing. I'm guessing they have Leyline Bindings. Wonder if Sanctifier's worth it. Probably not. Forge Tender, maybe. Maybe Lauren. So I think we're going to bring in the War Priests. I'm guessing that there are Solitudes. Okay, I'm actually going to get rid of Shining Shoals here. They might have Fury in the deck. I'm going to get rid of some number of Shining Shoals. Okay, we're going to go with this. I don't know what I'm doing with sideboarding with this deck, but we're going to try this. Game 2. Alright, we have 1-drop into 3-drop. I don't think that's good enough. Maybe it is, I don't know. If we don't have a follow-up for this, it's not very good, but I mean, our deck is just all creatures. I think we'll try it. Opponent mulligans to 6. Best case scenario is we pull ourselves a Thalia off the top. Cavern for Human. Our opponent's on a 6-card hand. Add a white, Champion, pass turn. Alright, they don't do anything to that. Alright, we do draw another 1-drop, which is nice. So I'm going to play out the Mutavault, play out my Sentinel, it will pump the Champion. And now if they go Ren and 6 on turn 2, we will be able to kill the Ren and 6 and we'll draw a card off of that. So that would be nice. Opponent fetches down to 17. See if they think that's worth it. Okay, they do nothing. Turn 3 here. Okay, so we could go Champion and attack with Mutavault 3, 5, 6. I think we just get a Ranger Captain in. We'll get Human, white, white, 1, 2, 3, Ranger Captain. Opponent's fetching in response. I guess they're gonna get a Bolt or something. No? Leyline Binding. Okay, Binding. We'll draw a card off that. I'm fine with that. Nice. Okay, so we're getting the value train rolling here. The Binding. I should just sacrifice that, probably. I think we get ourselves another... Champions can get really big. Maybe we get another Champion. And we'll attack for 4. And I think we're going to have a pretty good turn next turn. We can kind of go a little crazy. Okay, opponent fetches. Let's see what they got. Snow-covered island. Okay, EE for 1. They're going to give us another card here? They do. Okay. They're just filling up our hand here. Just the value is off the charts. I'm going to lead on this guy. Okay, opponent pops the EE, play out the Dunes, and we'll play out another champion post-combat. They have 4 cards in hand. 2 mana for a Wrenn and 6, sure. Imagine they minus the Wrenn and 6 here. They don't. Wow. Aggressive. Okay, so we drew into an Aspirant, so that's pretty good. We're going to lead on champion. And they're fetching. I wonder if they're going to try to counterspell this again. They're down to 8. I think they're trying to counterspell this. Or they're going to bolt something. Okay, so we got a 2/2. Next, I'm going to cast out the Aspirant here. Okay. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Alright, so I can activate the Mutavault here. 1, 2. But I don't think that's actually worth it. I think what I'm going to do, let's put a 1/1 counter on champion. Okay, they scoop. It was a lethal attack. I could also just go into the Solitude there. Alright, game 3. On the draw, I think I'm going to bring in the Forged Tenders and cut more Shining Shoals. And we'll give this a try. Okay, game 3. Let's see how this one goes. So this is gonna... They keep a 7-card hand. I think this is very much going to come down to whether or not they have a Wrenn and 6. But I think I have to keep this, even though it is super weak to a Wrenn and 6. Okay, they start land tapped. Cavern, not bad. Lead on our champion, pass the turn. Alright, dodge a Wrenn and 6. Fingers crossed. No Wrenn and 6, I like it. Good, good. Okay, our second cavern. We don't really want any more lands from this point. We'll name human here and cast out our lieutenant. Not very good here. Just a lowly 1/1. Opponent goes expressive iteration. I think best case scenario for us is they do something like Leyline Binding, which would be kind of silly, but that's kind of the hope. And then we can War Priest, kill the binding. Okay, it's not going to be a binding. Opponent has 6 cards in hand. Creature. Alright, that's a good one. That is a good one. From here we can play out our Mutavault. Play this guy out. We'll pump our lieutenant. We'll get a trigger. We'll get 2 triggers. Nice. So that pumps our lieutenant again. Now we're going wide. That was really, really good. So we actually have a pretty quick clock on them right now. Okay, Wrenn and 6. Sure, a couple turns too late. Hit on our token. Land. So it's a binding. Okay, yeah, we're actually really okay with this. Okay. I wonder from here. So we're going to play on another cavern. We're going to name human. We'll start with this War Priest. Yes. Okay, and then from here, I think I activate the Mutavault, and then we'll move to combat. So attack them, attack Wrenn and 6. And then we'll trigger, we'll get another token, attack them with the token. Alright, pretty good shape right now, I think. It's crazy how quickly this deck turns a corner. So they have some pretty big threats they have to deal with, and then next turn we'll be able to either Solitude or Knight Errant, or we could do both actually. The EE for 2, sure. Okay, so we drew into another War Priest. I wonder if we just have lethal here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can put them down to 1 from here. Or I can build out my board. So I think I'm going to start with an attack for 3. Put them down to 6. Play out this Knight Errant. Okay. Yes. Put the champion into our hand. Okay. And then I think we'll play out the champion. Play out this land. Pass the turn. Alright, opponents have 5 life. I guess if they have something like a Supreme Verdict, that would be very bad. But otherwise, I think we're okay. Teferi, sure. Now, do we have a super lethal attack right now? Okay, they bounce our 4/4. That's strange. Expressive iteration. Don't think that's going to do it. This deck is really sweet. I like this deck. Okay, 1-0. Alright, match 2. Mono White Humans. We are playing against Spice and WolfHolo. SpiceAndWolfHolo. We're going to be on the play, which is very nice. And opening 7, a little slow, but I think we'll keep it just because we have a turn 1 Sentinel. Okay. Lead on our planes into Sentinel, and we'll pass the turn. So we're looking like hammer time right now, but we are not. This is a hand for the long game, not for the short game. Opponent plays out Fledgestrand, fetches. I wonder if this is blue-red. Triumph. Okay. They're just trying to save themselves some time here. Champion, not bad. So that's a 2-drop. So next turn we have a Knight Errant. Wish I had another 1-drop. That would be ideal. Play out our champion, play out our castle, move to combat. We'll swing for 1. So I guess technically what I could have done is just land castle. Oh, never mind. That doesn't work. It's only legendary creatures. Okay, here's a Fury. Wish we had a Shoal right now. That would be nice. Okay, there go our creatures. We'll be able to restock a little bit next turn with this Ranger. There's a Wrenn 6. Yep. And get back a land. Sure. Okay, so we'll play out our Skyclave. We'll take 3 off of that and play out Ranger Captain. Yes, and we're going to get ourselves a champion. So next turn I can go champion and lieutenant. Opponent's fetching, basic planes. This is going to be an ending, sure. Okay, it was actually, is that what we wanted? So opponent has 5 cards. Okay, so I'm going to go champion into lieutenant. So if they minus this Wrenn 6, kill the lieutenant, I'll be able to knock down the Wrenn 6 next turn. Unless they bolt this thing down. Okay, binding, that's annoying. Just infinite removal here. Okay, that guy's pretty good. Play him out, pass the turn. Opponent has 4 cards in hand. It feels like this should be like worst possible matchup for this deck. Cycle of Triumph. Like what we played last round, what we played this round, pretty much the same deck. It's like 4 color elementals. Okay, they're gonna get a land back, sure. This feels like an Omnath maybe. Opponent is doing some thinking. Omnath comes down, sure. Now there's gonna be a trigger off this Omnath, and I think from here, I'm just gonna get rid of this. I don't think we're gonna let them get this trigger. The extra land trigger, that is. Play land tapped, pass the turn, sure. Okay, so land isn't bad. So what this allows me to do is attack into Wrenn 6, and then I'll be able to convoke in the Knight Errant. Like the fact that this thing has vigilance is really useful. The unfortunate part of this is that we're only going to be able to pull 1-drops off this. So if we don't see any 1-drops, we don't see any 1-drops, unfortunate. Okay, yeah, so that kind of stinks. Opponent has 6 cards in hand, we're hellbent. Opponent's casting a Solitude out, sure. Come on, bud. You're up early. Okay, Ranger Captain, pretty good. We're going to start with an attack into the Solitude, or into the Wrenn 6. See if they block here. They do. We'll cast our Ranger Captain. Yes. And we'll get ourselves a champion. And we're going to hold the champion until we can protect it from this Wrenn 6. Okay, Teferi, sure. If they bounce either one of our creatures, it's actually pretty good value for us. If they bounce their binding, sure. So we get the champion back. They can ping down the champion. Okay, cool. Nice move. Well played. Risen Reef, sure. Okay. So they drew a card off the reef, and then they passed the turn. And we drew into Amiria's Call, which doesn't really do too much. Alright, so we're going to attack... I'm only going to attack 1 creature into the Teferi, and then I'm going to attack them with the other. Dump that down, and... So if they have like a Fury, it's really bad if I play out this champion, but I think we kind of have to. And I'm just going to hold on to this Amiria's Call just in case we draw into a Shoal or a Solitude. Opponent fetches, gets a Hollowed Fountain. Another Risen Reef, okay. Their value train is rolling here. Doesn't bode well for us. I think we're in trouble. Okay, so I get 2 lands off of that. Another Wrenn 6, really annoying. Ping down our champion. Yeah, Wrenn 6 is just a nightmare for this deck. This is very problematic. They fetch, shock, another Teferi. Wonder if they just bounce. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll take that value. Yeah, I think we just gotta take the value. No 0-drops, once again. Or no 1-drops. Very unfortunate. I'll play out the Dunes and we'll pass the turn. Yeah, when you're convoking only for 1, it's definitely not as strong, especially when a bunch of your 1-drops are already in the graveyard. Yeah, there's an Omnath. I think this game is over. I'm about ready to scoop this up. They're drawing 2 cards, 3 cards off of this Omnath. If this is another elemental, I'm just going to scoop. Elish Norn would also be reasonable to scoop at this point. Ephemerate. Okay, I'm going to scoop it up. There's just way too much going on here. Okay. Alright, so from here, I think we're going to bring in our Forge Tenders again. I think we're going to bring in the War Priests. I wonder if Sanctifier is worth it. Probably not. Okay, so I think we're going to bring in those 3 cards, and then I think we're going to cut, like, I like Sentinel better on the play. Okay, so from here, I think we're cutting, I feel like a 2-drop. I kind of like Thalia in this matchup. I don't like what Renin 6 does to it, but I like that it stalls Renin 6 for a turn. Maybe we keep Thalia in on the play and pull it on the draw. And then maybe I'm just shaving some number, like an Aspirant or 2. Maybe Aspirant's just like the weakest of my 2-drops. Or maybe I shave 1 Shoal. They do have Fury though. I feel like I kind of want Shoal for that. Aspirant. I'm going to shave a Call as well. We'll try this. Okay, we can't keep this, unfortunately. And this is a 1-lander. This could go really bad if we don't pull a second land. I don't know that we're winning on a 5-card hand though. I think we need to get lucky. We'll keep this, and then we'll get rid of the one of the 3-drops maybe? Maybe the Ranger Captain. Yeah, this could go very bad if we don't pull another land here. But like I said, I don't think we're winning on a 5-card hand. I just think they have too much removal and too much value. And they kept a 7-card hand. If they have like Fury Ephemerate, we'll just lose. Windswept Teeth. Fetch. Triumph. Land? Not a land. Alright, we'll play out the Tender though. Oh, it's not even a human. I didn't realize that. That's unfortunate. Alright, we got a 1-lander. Stomping Ground. Is this Renin 6? It's a Renin 6. And they return a land, sure. They get a land drop. Not a land drop. Okay. We're going to attack both of these guys into Renin 6. And I think we're pretty dead here. I clicked through that. I meant to sacrifice the Forge Tender there. Oh well. I don't think it matters, to be honest. Risen Reef, sure. If we don't pull a land here, I'm just going to scoop this one up. Okay, I'm going to scoop. I've seen enough. We're 1-1. Okay, match 3, mono white humans. We are currently 1-1. Opening 7, I think is a little slow. We're on the draw here. I think we mulligan this on the draw. This is also pretty slow, but I don't want to go down to 5. I guess we'll keep this, and then we'll get rid of, I guess, one of the lieutenants. Okay, pass the turn. Opponent leads Misty Rainforest, passes the turn. We really would love a 1-drop here. And I would really love to not be playing against a Renin 6 deck, but I kind of think we're probably doing so again. Another Aspirant, not great. Play out a land, pass the turn. Our best draw there would have been that Esper Sentinel. That would have been what we wanted. Okay, basic island, okay. Need to consider, sure. So this feels like Murktide. Opponent plays a land, passes the turn. Okay, drew a land, we're cool with that. So I think I'm going to play Thalia's Lieutenant, just because it's like the worst creature we have. So we'll start there, and then see what they do. Like if they want to bolt that, sure. Great, yep, I'm happy with that. 2 mana into an iteration, sure. So for us, this means we can stick our Ranger Captain next turn, which is actually pretty strong against them. Or if we draw into a 1-drop, something like an Esper Sentinel, that would be pretty good too. Cavern is really good against them. Okay, I'm happy about that. Cavern for a human. Okay. And we'll cast out our Ranger Captain here. Yes. I'm going to get an Esper Sentinel, I think, and we'll pass the turn back. Your Cavern, very strong against the counterspell deck. Opponent shocks. It's going to be a Murktide, I think. Okay. So 6/6 Murktide against our 3/3 Ranger Captain. They have 2 mana up. Shining Shoal actually not bad either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead on Thalia and then go into an Aspirant. So let me play out a land first. So we'll go Thalia first. I tapped my mana wrong there. I'm going to take a point of damage I didn't need to. I messed up a little bit. I should have played out the Sentinel. The reason being is because I'm not going to be able to shoal now with the Thalia in play. Okay, so we got a little bit of a race on our hands. Power-wise, we can equal what they're doing, so this isn't the end of the world, but opponent plays land, they're going to attack for 6. They have 4 cards in hand. Drawing into a land, not terrible. So we're going to lead on another Aspirant. I think we're going to buff our Thalia here. Attack for 6. And the Shining Shoal actually doesn't do anything in this situation, so I'm not even going to worry about casting it out, I don't think. Okay, Adawara, Thalia back to hand. Sure. So play out our Sentinel, take another 1, we'll go down to 12, play out our Thalia, and we'll pass the turn. So we actually have a pretty big attack on our next turn. 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We almost have lethal next turn if they can't remove one of our creatures. Okay, iteration, they're paying for the Sentinel. Pretty expensive iteration here. Let's see if they play out this Bobble. Our best draw from here is like a Solitude. We're going to go down to 6, so we're on a 2-turn clock as well. Another Thalia. So it looks like the 1 damage we took earlier is going to make all the difference in the world. Let me just make sure. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 damage on board. Okay, yeah, we lose. Can't deal with this Murktide, unfortunately. Okay, game 2. We're going to bring in our Forge Tenders, our Giant Killer. I think Sanctifiers are reasonable as well. And then boarding out, I think some number of Shining Shoals. Unless they have Fury, I feel like that's not good enough. Then we're going to board out some number of these guys. Sideboarding with this deck is actually really challenging. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I don't bring in all the Sanctifiers, maybe just some of them. The card seems really good against them though. Maybe Champion is bad. Board out some Champions. I just don't feel great cutting down on 1-drops so far, but I think this is fine. Okay, game 2. We're on the play. If we can pull a 3rd land, this hand is great, so I think we're going to keep this. We also need to avoid a Blood Moon. Fairly important. I imagine they're bringing Engineered Explosives against us. This can be a Ragavan? Sure. It's not much of a concern. I'm not sure why they kept Ragavan in against the mono-white creature deck. Looks a little silly. Opponent goes land, fetch, iteration on turn 2. That's really strange. They already played a land for turn, so you can't play that. Land? Alright, we got our land. So really good for us. I am going to attack here so I can get the 1/1. And now if they want to attack him with the Ragavan and then bolt down my creature, I have the Shining Shoal up that I can use. Okay, opponent heats and bolts. I hope I do this correctly. Cast this creature. Okay, so we're going to target the Ragavan here. Exile a white card. I don't know if I did this correctly. The prompts on this card are really strange. So I don't know if this is correct. Hopefully I did this correctly. Choose a source. I don't think I did this correctly again. Okay, I did. Whew. Okay, we're good. Got lucky. It's a pretty big blowout. Okay, so I hit the target first, and then I hit the source. Okay, our opponent scoops. Pretty straightforward. Okay, game 3. Wonder if we pull another champion. I feel like we might need an answer to Blood Moon. I feel like that could be problematic. I'm going to bring in Aloran, just in case they have a Blood Moon. I might even bring 2 of these. No, I think one of them's fine. On the draw, I think I'll pull Lieutenant on the draw. No, I don't need to. Okay. Okay, this hand doesn't have a 1-drop, but I actually really like it. They keep their 7, we'll keep our 7. Let's go. Okay, they go turn 1 Ragavan. A little strange. Once again, they didn't learn from last game. We might exile this Ragavan with the Solitude. We might just deal with it, just so they don't get any value off of it. They have 5 cards in hand. Alright, Giant Killer. So that's a 1-drop. I mean, I could just cast that out, and then if they try to kill it, Solitude down the Ragavan. Or I could just use it to kill the Ragavan, because that's probably the worst card in my hand. Maybe that's the move. I'll play out Plains, and then we'll have our Sanctifier in play next turn. Opponent fetches, sure. Into a Shredder, sure. Okay, that's a really good draw too. We'll go Human into Sanctifier. So to kill any creature that has 4 toughness from this point forward, unless they get rid of the Sanctifier, they are going to need 2 removal spells. This is going to be an iteration, sure. I like this. And Holy Heat, they can't cast that really, so thinking about attacking, they don't. They do. Okay, sure. I think that's favorable for us. I don't think you're supposed to attack there. Alright, we have a Shining Shoal as well in our back pocket. Attack with the Sanctifier will trigger the Adeline, get a 1/1, and we're cruising. Okay, opponent does nothing on their turn. Not great. We drew into an Amiria's Call. Okay, so I think I'm going to play out this land. We will pay 3 life. And I'm going to lead on a Ranger Captain here. The opponent's trying to counterspell this. I think they're going to be very disappointed. Dress down. Okay, sure. Dress down happens. Okay. We don't get the trigger off that, so that's a little unfortunate. So we're just going to pass the turn from here. And now if they try to bolt down, our Sanctifier will shoal and kill the Shredder. See if this is a bolt. Hopefully a bolt. Unholy Heat. I still think this is worthwhile to redirect. Like, this Sanctifier is just so problematic for them. Maybe I should have anticipated this and attacked so we could kill the Shredder. She's a source. Yes, they are up to 4 card types, unfortunately. So if they do have another Unholy Heat, they'll be able to kill this Adeline. Okay, opponent bolts our Ranger Captain. We'll sacrifice it in response so they can't cast any more non-creatures. Opponent shocks in their Steam Vents, passes the turn. We drew into a Solitude. Okay, so from here, I should have... I wonder if I activate my Mutavault here? Maybe not. So if they can double spell, there's a chance they can kill my Sanctifier, so I think I just hold back. Unholy Heat, 4 card types. Okay, so that's unfortunate. So I think we just pass from here. They have 2 cards in hand. Sanctifier's still holding down the 4th though. And from here, like, a land is decent. Any creature that's a human is decent, so we're not in terrible shape. Okay, our opponent's just passing the turn back. Forge Tender. We'll cast that out. Maybe I was supposed to hold that for the Solitude. Another iteration, it seems like. Oh, this is an Engineered Explosives. That's pretty good. We'll kill their Shredder, though, if they pop that. Okay, interesting. Okay, so we'll play out our Dunes. And I'm not going to do anything from here. I don't need to. We'll just wait. Wait for them to blow these EEs, which I imagine they'll do at instant speed end of my turn. Another Forge Tender, sure. Okay, there goes the Shredder, sure. They're saving the 1 for 1. It's going to be a 4/4 Murktide. Okay, yeah, that's not too scary. Okay, we draw into a castle, sure. Play that out, and we will pass the turn. We'll see if they pop the EE here. That would be fine if they did. That would be great if they did. Nope. Leaving up their counterspell. Drawing into another Cavern would be nice. 1, 2. They have another Murktide. Shredder, sure. Okay, dump a Lightning Bolt, sure. We drew into an Adeline. So there's a little bit of a tension here, so I can cast this out, which I think I do. The hope here is end of turn our opponent attacks, or cracks their fetch, I mean. Okay, and we're gonna dump down. We'll get a trigger with the Shredder. Dumping a Braid, sure. I wonder if we just get rid of the Shredder here. Like, the problem is if they have another Murktide, that will be really scary, but I feel like the Shredder is better right now, so we're gonna get rid of that. They have 1 card in hand. Okay, this is another Murk. Okay, no it's not. Okay, Kithkin goes away. Let's see if they have an Unholy Heat. Channeler, okay, that's fine. Into a Bobble. We're gonna go down to 8. Now if they draw something like a Lightning Bolt, we'll just be dead from here. Okay, Plains is actually fine. Okay, so we're gonna attack with both of these. And what they want to do is just block my 1/1 here. Okay, a little bit of a mistake. Oh, I can only do that as a sorcery. Oh, never mind. Okay. Alright, so that was a punt. That was a punt. Okay. I don't know that we have an out to win from here. I think we're probably just dead. Oh wow, they're leaving Murktide back. That's strange. And 2 cards in hand. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna scoop it up. 1 and 2. Alright, match 4. We are currently 1 and 2. We are on the draw against Food Stamp 3. We've got a couple of 1-drops, but we only have 1 land on the draw. And there are 21 land in the deck. I think we have to mulligan this. Okay, I like this hand better. We'll keep this 6. Keep, and we'll send back, I guess, the Iganjo. I'll go with this. Opponent leads on a Castle Embereth. I don't even know. I don't know that one. Creatures you control get +1/+0. Okay. So they're like a go wide strategy, I'm guessing. We'll lead on our Sentinel, because that's all we have. And then we'll pass turn. Turn 2 we go Aspirant. Turn 3 we go Thalia's Lieutenant. Okay, so we'll draw a card off that, which is nice. They'll get 3 creatures. So I think they're the spike deck with the giant lizard thing, dinosaur. We'll play out our Cavern. We'll name Human. Play out our Aspirant. Move to combat. And I'm just gonna pass. I think we need to preserve our life total here, so we're not gonna force anything yet. Signal Pest, sure. So I don't think they can attack as of yet. They stuck on a 1-lander? Okay, it seems they are. Okay, that was actually a really good draw. So we can go Champion into Thalia's Lieutenant. So we're going wider than they are right now. And then Combat, put a counter on the Lieutenant, and then we'll pass the turn. So we got some pretty good blockers as it stands. Like if they don't hit their land drop this turn, I think they're probably done for. We bolt, targeting the Sentinel, and we draw a card. Turn off auto yields. So they bolted down the Aspirant, but from here, I think we go Ranger Captain. Yes. I'm gonna get another Sentinel. I'm gonna play out this land, and then I think we're gonna cast out the other Sentinel. So our guys are starting to get pretty big here. And we're like so much wider than them, and we have this Solitude and the Shoal in hand. I think we can actually afford to attack from here. 5, 9, 12. I think we'll leave the Esper Sentinel back, so we'll attack for 9. Then we're like pretty close to lethal next turn. Okay, there's their second land. See if they can go off from here. Chromatic Star, sure. Okay, we draw a card off that. They scoop. Alright, so we're going to bring in all of our pro-red creatures, which seem pretty good here. And then beyond that, I don't know how much more we need to do. Maybe if they have like Blood Moon. But even then, I don't think that that's really necessary. Like everything in our deck seems pretty good. Knight Errant seems less good in this matchup. Solitude seems mediocre as well. Maybe we keep Knight Errants and we dump down on Solitudes. Maybe like that. Yeah, this feels like a pretty bad matchup for our opponent. The 7-card hand is interesting. We just need a second land. If we get it, we're in really, really good shape. I'm going to keep. I think this is a little sketchy, but I think it's worth keeping. Opponent goes land, fetch, Epicure. We're going down to 19. Land? Not a land. Alright, we're going to be taking a point of damage off this Dunes, which is not good. We'll pass the turn. Opponent attacks for 1. I think I'm actually going to block here. I'm just going to preserve my life total. Okay, they get 3 1/1s. Sure. Not a land. Okay. Yeah, we're in a bit of trouble now. Got greedy, kept a 1-lander, and now we are getting punished. I'm going to block one of these tokens. We're just going to preserve our life. Gigantha goes to hand. Okay, I like that. Land. Okay, we got our land. We will name Human, and we are online here. Sanctifier. I could also cast out the Thalia, but I think I like Sanctifier first. The opponent Goblin grenades me. They're going to grenade me again. Bushwhacker. Okay. Our life total is being threatened here. Going down to 7. Then we'll go down to 6 if we need to tap this land again. So hopefully we don't. Okay, so from here, just to preserve my life total, I'm going to cast out the Thalia as opposed to another Sanctifier. And we're going to pass turn. 7 life. Opponent cast their Bauble. Nice. They get 3 more 1/1s. Sure. 2 cards in hand. Okay, we drew another land that deals us damage. I don't think we can take damage, so we're going to cast out our Aspirant. And I think we're going to pump the Aspirant here. So if they draw another land, we're like very close to dead. We might even just be dead. Just because they can activate the Den. Synthesizer, sure. Alright, so that will be 3 more 1/1s and a 2/2. So they are super wide right now. Can't play out that Bobble. We drew into Athalia's Lieutenant, which is fine. Once again, I don't know if this is going to be good enough, but it does something. We have 4 black blockers for their 7 attackers. Okay, they're just bringing the team. So if they have something like a Goblin Grenade, we're just dead. Okay, we go down to 4. See if we're dead. I think we're probably dead. I'm going to cast a Gigantha here. Okay, Grenade, sure. Okay, game 3. Note to self, 1 lander, not good. I think our configuration is fine, so I think we'll just stick with it. I think we just need to hit our land drops and hope our lands don't deal us a ton of damage. Game 3. We have the Dunes again, but I think this hand's much better than our last one. Lead with a champion, pass the turn. Like, just being able to curve out, very important here. Bobble, they'll get 3 1/1s, I'm guessing, off of this. Sure. Okay, so we're going to take 1 off of the Dunes, and I'll get my Sanctifier out. It's nice in that it pumps the champion, and it gives us an unkillable blocker, so we have 2 really strong blockers for their creatures right now. Synthesizer, sure. Feels like they might be stuck on lands, and they are, again. Really unfortunate for our opponent. Alright, second Sanctifier, pretty good. I'm going to hold that and just get this Aspirant into play, just so I can not deal myself damage off my lands. Pump the Aspirant, and then we'll pass the turn. Okay, 3 more creatures, sure. Lightning Bolt, can't cast it though. Memnite, sure. So if they have like a Bushwhacker, it's going to be a lot of damage, but okay, that's good. We'll name Human, okay. And then I think I'm going to go Sanctifier, or do I go Aspirant and Forge Tender? Yeah, I think we're going to do that. Once again, I'm preserving my life total here. I'm going to pump up these Aspirants, and then we'll pass the turn back. Okay, they have 9 1/1s now, all off of 1 land. Pretty impressive. Alright, and that's pretty good too. So we'll pump, what do I want to pump? Pump another Aspirant, and then we'll pump Forge Tender, I suppose. And then I'm going to attack with one of these Aspirants, I think, just so I can get the trigger. Maybe the attack was with the champion instead. Maybe that was the move. Opponent's got 2 lands. Uh-oh. Epicure, sure. Signal Pest, sure. That's a lot of damage coming through next turn. Okay, so what can we do about this? I mean, we have so many creatures. Like, we potentially just have a lethal attack from here. I mean, we definitely have enough power on board to have a lethal attack, but it's a matter of, does our opponent respect or care? So all they have to do is chump block with 1 creature. So we're going to put a counter on one of these humans, and we're going to put a counter on one of these Sanctifiers, I think. And then we just attack with this thing. Okay. Play out a Miria's Call tapped. So if we draw into another land, we potentially have lethal next turn as well if they don't want to block everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Another Synthesizer, sure. Another Memnite, pretty good. Another Caverner of Souls. I'm going to lead on the Ranger Captain. I'm just going to see what my options are here. Just what I can pull out of the deck. Yes. Another Burnt-in Forge Tender. I think that's probably pretty reasonable. Put a counter on the Sanctifier. Put a counter on the other Forge Tender. We'll attack for 11. 3, 6, 9. Okay, so we have lethal next turn, just about. Okay, they scoop. 2 and 2. Against Stokes, 112, we are on the play. Opening 7, I think this is acceptable. We got lands, we got spells, we got interaction. I like it. Let's do it. Stokes is on a mulligan to 6 here. Oh, forgot my camera. Can you see me? We're good. Stokes mulligans to 5. Not great for Stokes. Okay, Stokes keeps a 5. Start with our Cavern. We'll name Human, as has been the trend so far this league. Play out our champion. It'd be nice if Cavern like just automatically picked up the fact that you're trying to cast like a specific card with it. The fact that you have to click on the mana every time. A little annoying. What are you going to do though, right? Opponent goes Basic Forest into Grazer. So we are playing against Titan, it seems. Okay, so this is Bring to Light, not Titan. Opponent has 3 cards. Okay, Mutable, not bad. So we'll save ourselves some damage and we'll be able to get the Knight Errant into play next turn. Play out Mutavault into the Luminarch. And we'll be able to connect with this this champion now. So this will be a 3/3. Going for 3. And we'll pass the turn from there. This is another Wrenn and 6 deck though, so we do need to keep that on our radar. Okay, we're up a game. Easy enough. Game 2. So we are playing... Okay. Alright, so that does it for our Mono White Humans League. We finished with kind of a 3-2 record. We kind of went 2-2, and then, you know, our opponent got a little salty and scooped at the end, but what are you going to do? We're counting that 3-2, which is a winning record, so we'll take that. I think there was definitely room for improvement with regards to the way I played this deck. Obviously, some misclicks in the early matches with Shining Shoal. The way that this card works on Magic Online is a little bit confusing with regards to the prompts, so I definitely threw away a card or two in the first couple of matches with that. And in addition to that, I think there were definitely some errors that were made with regards to, I don't know if it was sequencing or just, you know, just utilizing my cards to the best of my abilities. I think if I were to play this again, I might make some tweaks to the main deck. I'm not exactly sure what, but I think I would change a couple of things, and I think some of those play errors that I had along the way, I would definitely clean up. If you're looking for a change of pace and to try something new, I would recommend this. I think this is a cool deck, and I like the strategy and I like the play pattern. So I'm clocking out for the day. We will have a new video back here on Friday. If you haven't done so already, of course, hit the subscribe button if you're still with us and hanging out. And if you are, I appreciate that. And that'll do it for the day. I will see everybody again on Friday. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your evening. And you know the deal, everybody. Be well.